In today's breaking story, Donald Trump's strange health move just left White House doctors stunned. That's right, Donald Trump's health continues to be a major issue of debate. How's it going, everybody? Hunter Avallone here with Occupy Democrats. Welcome back to another video. Now, whether or not Donald Trump is sick, that's really the question. But one thing is not a question, and that's whether or not we're all sick of Donald Trump.
And Illinois itself is the 19th safest state in the United States. I'd like to be in the top 10, but 19th is a whole heck of a lot better than Texas or Florida.
But if the president invokes the Insurrection Act, there's not much you can do, is there?
Well, the Insurrection Act is called the Insurrection Act for a reason. There has to be a rebellion. There has to be an insurrection in order for him to be allowed to invoke it. Again, he can say anything he wants, but if the Constitution means anything, and I guess we all are questioning that right now, but the courts will make the determination. If the Constitution means anything, the Insurrection Act cannot be invoked to send them in because they want to fight crime. Let me add that they're claiming in court that that's not the reason that they're calling up troops to send them into our states. They're claiming in court that this is about protecting ICE facilities and ICE agents and not about crime on the streets. But then you hear Vice President Vance and the President of the United States contravening that and saying exactly what they actually think. They just want troops on the ground because they want to militarize, especially blue cities in blue states.
And recently, J.D. Vance was even confronted with Donald Trump's own words about the government shutdown.
I want to play you a little bit of what President Trump had to say about shutdowns past when Barack Obama was president. Take a look.
If there is a shutdown, I think it would be a tremendously negative mark on the President of the United States.
They're not going to be talking who the head of the House was, the head of the Senate. I really think the pressure is on the President.
If you were president, what would you do?
Well, very simply, you have to get everybody in a room. You have to be a leader. The President has to lead. You have to get the people in a room, and you have to get a deal.
Mr. Vice President, by President Trump's own calculus, the pressure is on him to get everyone into a room and get a deal, is it not?
Well, Kristen, I wouldn't focus on the political pressure to get a deal. We really don't care what the poll numbers say.
But what about what President Trump said?
What's good for the
What
American
about what
people.
Mr. Trump said, his own words?
Well, Kristen, the president was talking back then when Barack Obama was president about the political realities. We are focused now on the governing realities because we're in power and we're trying to make the American people's government work for the American people, despite the fact that Chuck Schumer and the Democrats have shut down the government.
Yeah, as if that's not embarrassing enough, now Trump's strange health move just stunned White House doctors. That's right, take a look at today's top story. President Donald Trump's latest trip to Walter Reed National Military Medical Center is raising more questions than answers today, as medical experts cast doubt on the White House's claim that the visit was merely routine. The president, now 79 years old, was reportedly at Walter Reed on Friday for what officials described as his annual physical. But that explanation immediately triggered skepticism since Trump already had his annual physical in April. The administration insists he remains in excellent health, yet notably, it has refused to release any detailed medical results or documentation. Dr. Jonathan Rayner, former cardiologist to Vice President Dick Cheney, told the Washington Post that this visit did not appear to be routine. Rayner pointed out that some of the reported tests suggest the White House may be following up on specific health concerns, such as the president's leg swelling observed earlier this summer. Are they checking for new symptoms? Reiner asked, emphasizing that the public deserves transparency when it comes to the president's fitness for office. Former White House physician Jeffrey Kuhlman, who served under Presidents Clinton, Bush, and Obama, added even more intrigue, saying presidents usually only travel to Walter Reed for advanced imaging or procedures that cannot be done at the White House. You can move any scope, any person, any medication to the White House, Kuhlman said, but you can't move an MRI or a CAT scan. He confirmed that the White House has not released the results of those advanced imaging tests, a highly unusual omission for a commander-in-chief. Experts note that for someone nearing 80, such imaging is often used to detect arterial plaque buildup or early signs of heart disease, precisely the kind of results the White House has chosen to withhold. Even conservative lawyer George Conway voiced concern on MSNBC this weekend, asking bluntly, why aren't we talking about that? What's going on with that trip? For now, the White House is sticking to its story that the visit was routine. But as questions mount and transparency remains limited, the secrecy surrounding President Trump's health is starting to look anything but routine. Thanks so much for watching. Please click that like button and subscribe to Occupy Democrats so that you can stay informed and help us stop Donald Trump.